Welcome back to our first semifinal match where G2 must now win if they want to keep their dream of making finals alive. IG's second game was more impressive than their first one, and they have elected to again play on the blue side.
Which is, of course, no surprise, but I'm so interested to see how did G2 find a foothold even into the mid game? Because the problem is they're losing this game pre-20. They're losing this game pre-2 items or 3 items on their big carries. They're never being able to set up any sort of side lane pressure. You can't think forward to how are we going to adapt in the late game because they're just not getting there. They really need to get their fundamentals a bit more stable.
And that's why I want to see G2 drop the bottom lane bans. Drop the bans against JackeyLove, because at least give yourself a chance to get to the stage where Kai'Sa or Xayah could be strong. You know, This game has certainly not been about the bottom lane, and while those are power picks for JackeyLove, he has shown that he can, certainly win on other champions as well. And I think you need to get rid of the Jace. You need to get rid of some of these soul lane power picks.
I mean, JackeyLove was by far the 5th most influential member of his team there. As we kind of outlined, the other 4 dived. He was just doing his best to stay alive in team fights, but the game was being decided around specifically Rookie and TheShy.
Well, here we go for what could be the final draft of this series. IG not going to fix what isn't broken. Heimerdinger and Nocturne banned out again, as G2 Esports are going to repeat what has been done. Xayah and Urgot also banned out.
I mean, they could still at least pivot and ban away the Jace. That is the one ban that they have been changing up in between games, but Jace is left open. It's a run back from game number 2. A lot of people, I think, going to be looking at this and questioning why there hasn't been an adjustment here for G2 in that first phase.
You can only index your prep in so many ways, and it seems like G2 want to keep certain variables off, even though we do feel, as a kind of casting team here, that this is kind of putting them in the same scenario a 3rd time in a row. We are seeing an adjustment. Some stuff is rising, and a first pick LeBlanc in our 3rd game of the series, and really hard to argue with it.
Invictus Gaming says, what are you going to do about it? You weren't able to find any success last time with the Irelia. Let's see what the answer is here from G2.
And I think one of the really cool things about this is if you actually, bring out the LeBlanc and you force an answering pick here, so the Irelia in this case for Perkz, then that narrows down what G2 is going to be doing. It kind of denies them the ability to have these hidden picks, these hidden solo lane picks where they're flexing things around, and that's going to give a better chance for TheShy to get a preferential matchup.
Do you, as IG, just say, we're 2-0 up, the enemy hasn't been able to deal with LeBlanc Jace, show nothing and just take Jace again and say, what you got, G2, and then make an adjustment if you lose in game number 3? It's definitely going to be something worth considering. They see the Xayah ban. We don't really expect future AD carry bans. I don't think you double ban AD carry again. You probably double ban TheShy if you don't see a top laner. So how does IG approach this 3rd pick? Looks like they're actually just going to go front foot and consider picking up a pick for JackeyLove.
And while TheShy certainly has been styling on carries in these first 2 games, it's not like he can't play tanks.
Agreed.
IG is certainly happy to take it to the team fight stage, and if G2 wants to draft a team fighting team, well, that has not been their strength either. So IG, certainly is willing to go that route, and we'll see if they're going to try to pick something spicy in the side lanes, try to get Wunder a big counter pick and try to commit more to those side lanes once again.
Well, as the first half of the draft ends, it's going to be bot lanes picked up by both sides, and what I'm presuming to be mid laners as well, as G2 says, nope, no more Jace, not happening, banning that one away first and foremost, as IG bans out the Talia.
See where G2 want to go with their first pick in the 2nd round. Again, jungle and hiding your top lane to stop, say, a good Fiora matchup for cropping up for TheShy. Seems like the way you would go. Seeing the approach here, though, Talia banned away, so some jungle ban thrown towards Jankos by IG.
That Aatrox that has been picked up 2 times so far for G2 and has been absolutely decimated both times is conspicuously out of the draft this time, so we haven't seen the appearance, I should say, of that one so far.
It certainly is, but, if we do get the jungle lock-in, as you're talking about here, Baba Smithy, then it has to be a blind pick on the top side. Jace is gone, so we could see TheShy go to something like a Scion, and in that case, perhaps Wunder will feel the confidence that he needs to bring out that Aatrox once more, because that is a matchup he has played very many times.
Nice choice here, though. A flex matchup. They love the Scion versus Camille matchup that Wunder was able to split push and carry on previously. So now we get into interesting territory of where you go. This would be opting into a potentially Irelia matchup for the Aatrox. We've seen Irelia players win if it is a top lane Irelia. But given the fact that Camille is hovered, and we've seen it from G2, it'd be so risky to go for something like a Scion. They're not committing just yet.
Lee Sin locked in for Ning. Not one of those champions that you look at and say, oh yeah, that's going to be a pop-off champion for him. We'll see how well he makes it work, as the Aatrox will be picked up by IG as well.
And this is still the possibility of being flex top, as you talked about here. Camille could be jungle, could be top lane there for Wunder. Lissandra would make a lot of sense, though, as an answer into the LeBlanc. You put the Irelia top, you put that Camille in the jungle, and you have, more well-rounded composition and also some good answers in the solo lanes.
But the certainties of the 1v1 matchup that were there 2 games in a row for IG are much more muddy in this game number 3. And I think we should highlight Ning, who's been largely on comfort this tournament. He's off the Xin Zhao. He's off also the Camille that he defaulted to previously. Lee Sin is not necessarily as inviting for non-Lee Sin mains as it once was many moons ago. And so far, Ning's Lee Sin has been shaky at best, so maybe that's an area that the early ganking of a Camille and Jankos in particular can link up with the team and shut down the previous topside advantage that IG have been monopolizing.
And when you look at that Camille's pairing with Lissandra, that is certainly a duo who can attack and take down a LeBlanc. Very little outplay to the Camille ultimate, into the Lissandra ultimate, on Rookie, locking him down.
I think of all 3 drafts we've seen so far, this one seems the most well put together on the side of G2 Esports. This is the one that you can look at and be the most confident in if you are that squad in saying, yes, we can take this, we can make this work to our win conditions, as opposed to the previous 2, which were just really, really heavily focused on JackeyLove to not much benefit.
But we should say there is a cost to this for the side of G2. Their draft is not 2 strong split pushers who will have kill pressure and turret pressure in a 1-3-1. Yes, Lissandra and Irelia can both hit the side lane, but it usually falls into a 4-1 around the Irelia rather than actually putting up Lissandra as an assassin side lane.
Well, this could be it for G2 Esports. They've got to find the win here, and then they'll have to find it 2 more times to come back and claim victory. Or Invictus Gaming just could put the final nail in the coffin on this one. Teams are out onto the Rift again. The same sides we've seen so far. IG feeling comfortable here on the blue end of the map. Keep your eyes on Ning, especially this game, on that Lee Sin, seeing how well he performs. Papa Smitty, you already mentioned he hasn't had the greatest games on it so far. And going up against Jankos, who, yes, he had that big cask as the last one that we saw him land in the last game, but he also seemed very shaky early on.
Yeah, and we have to really look at G2 and see, how they are doing mentally, coming out of 2 very devastating games where you must be feeling a little bit shell-shocked. They have to be able to stabilize. They have to be able to kind of regain that calm and composure that they use so well against RNG.
And IG, when you're facing a Camille jungle with Lissandra and Irelia as the solo lanes, need as much information about Camille's path as possible, because level 2 Camille can combo so well with the 2 solo lanes here that there is kill threat. So any information they can get to make the Camille predictable is very important for IG. They have 1 advanced Ghost Porrow we saw put down by TheShy, but otherwise not complete information available for the side of IG.
We'll see both junglers start off on the bottom side of the map there, as Wunder will clear away that Ghost Porrow from TheShy. He tries to find the slam, does manage to get the auto attack down, but doesn't look like he'll get too much more for now, and Wunder just makes his way into the wave. Rookie versus Perkz here in the mid lane. Perkz so far not having himself a fantastic series when he is the guy who has stepped up so much for the side of G2 Esports. A little bit of trading going on down bottom, but top side also just TheShy. Game number 1, he plays Akali. They're like, all right, we got to stop that. That's not going to work. Game 2, he plays Jace. Like, okay, now we got to ban Akali and Jace, and now we'll see if he can make this Aatrox pick really sing when G2 hasn't found any success on it for themselves with their solo laners so far.
They certainly haven't, and you have to feel like G2 needs to get those solo laners going. They need to have success from these members in this 3rd game. For them to be able to come back and win this series, it has to be the sort of effort that was put forth by Perkz against RNG, where he's able to take over, where he's able to get out to the side lanes and really have a lot of pressure across the map.
And he's gone for this more utility pick style champion with the Lissandra, has gone Aftershock, which has been the tournament meta keystone, for some reliability. We wondered where we would see the Camille go. Waiting for it to pop in.
Rookie getting himself back all right there. Jankos does show up in mid lane, but Rookie on that LeBlanc is plenty safe.
Coordination not quite on point there, but still very strong 2v2 if they decide to invade. Hook shots available. They're actually seeing if they can find Lee Sin.
Or maybe dive.
Oh, if Ning face checks this, he's going to be in some trouble. Over the wall comes
He failed his
Perkz, looking to find the lockdown, and the damage is there. It's first blood for G2.
Ning was looking for a ward hop back over the wall, but he actually failed the ward placement, and now they can turn this into a dive on the TheShy. This is huge for G2.
TheShy already had to use the flash. Jankos going in, finding the dive, and Perkz makes sure that he's part of the second one as well and grabs the kill.
That's the sort of moment G2 fans have been waiting for. Very good understanding of how powerful Perkz and Jankos would be on the roam. Not discouraged by missing out on that mid lane kill. You note the mechanical error on Lee Sin that we foreshadowed with Ning not being on comfort here. This was very much a jump scare, basically a Friday the 13th moment, and he failed on that particular jump.
He certainly did, and you have to say, he should have been expecting that G2 was coming up here. They knew Lissandra was missing, that they had the push, that Camille was on the top side of the map, and yet Ning face checks in, gives up his life, and in doing so, also forfeits the TheShy's and puts him very far behind. So an incredible start for G2, and this is just what you need to build that confidence back up after two very, very rough games.
And especially for G2, it's Perkz and it's Jankos getting this ball rolling, making these things happen. Perkz is the guy on this team who participates in far more kills than everybody else on the squad. You can see right there, 6th overall in terms of kill participation, while the rest of the team is much, much lower. This guy makes things happen.
And he's the emotional core of the team. He's the only returning G2 member from their 4 consecutive EULCS titles in a row. So many of his other members left the team. He's the only one remaining, so for him to perform as he did in that Game 4 and Game 5 to get them to the semifinals, him getting a good start rather than being pushed in and skill checked by the LeBlanc or by Rookie in general in the mid lane, makes so much upside for G2 going into the remainder of this game.
It certainly does, and we know how IG plays from ahead, but we have yet to see them have to play from behind, to play from disadvantages, and that is a world in which TheShy and Ning are living.
Rookie might find himself jumped on here in the mid lane. Does manage to get himself out with a distortion. Walks back up, but this is what G2 likes to do. It's setting Wadid up to roam, to rotate, to try to help out those solo lanes and really get them going. Rookie's not going to fall victim to it right now, but up in the top side, TheShy also finds himself falling behind Wunder after that initial death that he had. Wunder looking to go in, start this fight off here, but Ning shows up, reinforcements arrive, but they won't do anything with it. Wunder gets himself back as mid lane is Wadid, looking to go in here yet again. Claw goes forward, Perkz looking to find the damage. Chain comes out from Rookie, looking to find that lockdown into the root onto Perkz, who's barely getting himself out of that one. Rookie still escaping as Jankos goes in, but he can't quite find the kill.
They didn't even get his flash there. That is just insane from Rookie. He's able to turn it around, go positive on summoners when he is essentially getting 3v1 ganked there.
The hookshot flash actually missed coming through from Jankos. That might have been the crucial last auto attack or damage burst to take him down. Only cleanses Ning.
Ning tries to go in and start this fight off, does get a little bit of damage down onto Jankos, but Jankos gets the grab and walks away. Ning continues going forward, but doesn't want to do anything else with it. If they got into a 2v2, TheShy wasn't quite level 6 just yet, but now both top laners have it.
A stabilizing moment for the side of IG, but not something necessarily tip this game. Hip-Hop Pulverize in, but it's going to be a big trade onto JackeyLove. Let's see how G2 build from here. When they have their trio, which to me is a roaming Wadid and then Perkz and Jankos, they have so much reliable pick CC. They should be able to accelerate the game, keep the kills up as we get a bit of a reminder of the last time Ning played that Lee Sin.
Yeah, 0-4-1, 25% kill participation, not his greatest moment. So far, this game not going that fantastically for him. But again, we're only 7 minutes in as Perkz will move up into enemy territory and again look to set the trap.
Oh, and Perkz is behind Rookie. He has no idea about that.
Just seeing if maybe Rookie would go after his jungler there and try to find some cheeky damage onto Jankos so he could punish it, but Rookie knows better.
You can see Perkz is, indexing towards the playmaking. He's building towards that proto belt. Going to be able to have even more playmaking potential, even more engaged potential here. He knows what his job is going to be as the Aftershock Lissandra. Get out to the sides, make plays.
But this triangle of vision is so big for G2 on the bottom side. You see a very advanced ward on the Raptors and the 2 more shallow of that. It basically means that if Alistar has control of the river and Camille's bot side, they have entire agency around the picks that can happen onto both Ning and also the mid lane. So for them to clear that vision so big as bot lane.
But did with the Hex Flash, but for JackeyLove, who uses the killer instinct to get himself over the wall to safety. Jankos makes his way down towards the bottom lane now as well, but upon seeing the control ward, immediately decides to bail away. Jackie's ultimate expended there means maybe there's a chance to look for something here in the near future, but it's Rookie going in on to Perkz here in the mid lane yet again, trying to find that damage. Aftershock already going to be procced. Both junglers show up as the claw goes backwards. Perkz tries to get himself away, but Jankos now going to be in some serious danger. The distortion in the auto attack. Rookie is a master at this champion, as we're going to see Wunder come in and clean up Ning. Now finds a disarm down on TheShy, who's in the world ender, but still going to be in some trouble, taken down into the resurrection. Wadid rotating over to the fight now as well, trying to find something. Rookie goes forward, getting himself back out of the way of the pulverize, and that'll be all.
It is 1 kill for each. Good job there by G2, bringing up the extra members, trying to trade back as Rookie may be looking for more, but the chain is not going to pull Wunder back in. And Rookie really has just been looking spectacular in this series. So hard to attack this guy, and TheShy, coming in, made that a 2v2 that was going to look very, very good for them.
Very much a bounty of finesse available when you're playing the LeBlanc, such a flexible champion. Didn't have cleanse, but had the Merc tread, so it doesn't get stunned for the entire duration here. TheShy follows the claw to the back here, and while Rookie calculates damage precisely, taking down Jankos, Wunder's ability to get into the back line, and Ning at level 6. It's going to definitely be a trade kill. A trade kill is a small benefit IG because they were behind at this present point in the game, but it shows us that hopefully this boxing match is not going to be one team wailing on the other, but more of a blow-for-blow action.
Exactly, and it's so critical to see G2 still playing with confidence, to be looking for these plays, to be going forward after having a couple rough games. Certainly, speaks to their mental fortitude and to the fact that they are far from out of this series.
What I want to see them is to keep playing off the 2 control wards they have bot side and take the Infernal trade. That's where they're strongest with their Pixie around bot, but they're trying to snowball top side.
No ult on TheShy.
They know Shy doesn't have that free resurrection here. Wow, that's a good flash coming out from him to stay alive, but is it going to be enough? Wunder trying to get himself away, using the flash to do so. Jankos taken down! He will find the kill in return, but now Rookie is on the hunt, looking to find even more damage. Down now onto Perkz, getting himself back and forth with the distortions. As G2 retreats, it'll be 1-for-1 on this trade overall. Rookie still going to be going forward, pops the cleanse, gets back over the wall, and he bites off more than he can chew, and Wunder's got that punish.
Yeah, punishing him big time for the face check there. Really nice combo from Wunder and Perkz. They get the ultimate, which is cleanse, but Wunder is there with the stun immediately after, and that is enough to take down Rookie.
First moment of hubris this series for Rookie, you would say, who previously is finding double, triple kills wherever he goes. He goes too far, he has no backup. Well taken down by the side of G2. As we go back to this replay, TheShy flashing away from the hook shot once again. Those hook shots not registering, allows Ning the time to get here for the count again.
Yeah, not sure. Oh, he did actually hit everything there. So yeah, Ning just barely able to kill him off, but Shy not enough health to stay alive. And then Rookie feeling pretty confident about his trades here, but losing track of where they are and the fact that the ultimate's available.
He saw the control ward in the first bush, so he knew the enemy saw him coming in, and that unfortunately means that with 2 members there, pretty trivial pickup. Speaking of pickups though, as we're in the replay, there is the Rift Herald taken very early by the Lee Sin in a solo fashion. See that one, where that one is parked, but for now IG back away, and the remaining trades we're seeing means that IG is still within closing distance of the gold lead for G2.
And G2 has had pretty poor objective control compared to a lot of other teams in this tournament, especially the ones remaining now that we're in the semifinal phase, only having a 16% take on Rift Herald, so not surprised to see IG walking away with that one, even though they're behind in gold right now. Jankos moves up, removes that control ward from the enemy jungle, and you can see there on your screen what I'm talking about. Herald control, not the best for the side of G2 Esports.
Honestly, when you're going for mostly a 1-3-1 style, you're prioritizing gold on and items on your solo laners rather than objectives, as Perkz takes a nice little burst there from Rookie. So it's definitely a inevitable flow-on effect of how their playstyle is, but it's certainly something that IG could look to capitalize on, because we expect G2 to be second to something like the Infernal. We talked about playing around Infernal. It's still up, and 12 minutes in, no visit from either team.
I mean, it's definitely been 3 straight games now of the Rift Herald going to IG, and This game, they are behind. We'll see if they can use that Rift to actually still try to challenge for the first turret, as they are not naturally doing so through winning lanes this time around.
And the biggest thing I'm looking at is this top lane. The past couple of games, we already talked about how crazy TheShy was, how much he was popping off. But this time around, Wunder is right back in the game. He's beating him by 20 CS. He's 2-0-2. Wunder is doing what G2 needs him to do to facilitate that win condition.
And you have to give credit to G2's team play to be getting him into that position. It was an early 3-man dive, and multiple times where G2 is grouping up and trying to attack this side of the map.
Here he goes again. Wunder looking for that 1v1. TheShy trading very evenly with him and getting himself back underneath the turret to just keep on farming up. Of course, Aatrox does have the ability to vamp some of that damage, as Perkz will again move towards the enemy Raptor pit and see if maybe there's an opportunity to set something up. Will walk over a ward on his way through, but considering he's got Jankos nearby, he's not too worried.
They got the bot lane pushed into turret, and they have Agency of the Infernal, so they're not worried about a reaction from Baolan and JackeyLove. Got a turret damage here, potential just 2v2 takedown of this turret. Worth noting also that Irelia scales better and better in this matchup. Aatrox can't really disengage an all-in trade because all he has is auto attacks, and getting disarmed is so big that doesn't get full value out of his passive in particular, and that means Irelia kind of wins harder with more items.
And with the incredible amount of mobility that Irelia has, it becomes so hard to ever land the sweet spots as the Aatrox onto this champion who's going to be dashing around everywhere.
Oh, dashing over the wall goes Rookie, finds a little bit of damage down onto Perkz, but a good use of the Aftershock will make sure that doesn't hit too much harder. G2, for the first time this series, grabbed themselves first turret there in the bottom lane to make sure they're ahead of the Shelly push here in mid. Perkz can be taken down to about half. Rookie can say the same. Jankos trying to buy some time, but now it's Wadid coming in from behind. Ning grabs the kill down onto Perkz. It's going to be 1-0 for IG so far. Wadid's still going to be tanking up, but now the Vanguard's edge has been deployed. Wunder's coming in for the counterattack, and he cleans up Rookie as the Hex Deck ultimatum seals JackeyLove's fate, and G2 wins another fight.
Huge fight for them. They deny the Rift Herald from even getting a charge and pick up multiple kills. This is after getting first turret on the bottom side of the map, and for the first time in the series, G2 are showing signs of life.
They're using their pick CC and their stronger laning phases on Perkz and Wunder to punish moments that IG would have been able to expose them in games 1 and 2. IG may be able to backdoor an Infernal here, but that's all that's going to happen as all this momentum goes G2's way. I was worried when Perkz got really far up trying to kill the Rift Herald that this might be G2 struggling because there's no way for Sivir to get here. But even though Perkz goes down early, G2 make this work.
And it's a lot of resources committed to kill him, as we see in this Acer Predator replay, and the Rift Herald already had gotten taken down. A great prompt from JackeyLove, but then Jankos simply ults him in. You're locked up, no way out against Jankos and Wunder there, piling in and taking down this Kai'Sa, who is a long way from really coming online.
Coming into this series, G2 had only been behind in 6 out of the 21 games they played during main stage and during play-ins put together. This is the first time this series we get to see them in their more natural habitat of being even or ahead at 15 minutes into the game. And again, these solo laners are where they want to be. Wunder, 3-0-3 on this Irelia. The man is popping off and finding what he needs to find. And bottom side, Hjarnan and Wadid just feel free to continue to push.
And during Champs we said, okay, it's not quite the same 1-3-1, but guess what? This 4-1 has a mountain of wave clear in Lissandra and Sivir, and then a super fed Irelia to split in the top side while the 4-man unit can make pressure points around the map. So G2 actually are about as set up as can be with the champion select they drop.
Mid lane, G2 want to go in yet again. Jankos has to flash to get himself away, but Ning's able to find the follow with a nice kick back, and that shutdown credit over to JackeyLove. G2 not quite finding themselves the turret just yet. Hjarnan's barely going to get himself away from the Glacial Fissure. The claw from Perkz to take the escape, and Wadid will be the sacrifice as G2 lose 2.
Costly mistake there from G2. They so badly wanted that outer tower. Instead, they lose their cooldowns, they lose 2 kills, and they will lose their own mid lane turret here.
The moment that they saw specifically Ning walk up and land a Q onto Jankos there to get out, but they got greedy trying to also get the turret spare the blushes of their jungler going down. And now IG know they have more members on the map.
And right as I was praising G2, things again look a little bit sketchy. Rookie going forward, not quite finding the chain, means Wunder gets to get away. And it would have been dire straits for him if that would have connected. Multiple members from IG coming up to collapse.
And a big shutdown available on Wunder. You know, you want to really be careful when you are those Fed members, because here's the play one more time. Rookie does a good job avoiding a lot of this damage. Then Jankos trying to flash, but the Q connects anyway.
But they could still disengage with Hjarnan and Perkz. They think, okay, we're fine. Baolan actually interrupts a couple of auto attacks with the Unbreakable, and then Hjarnan's out of position. He used his spell shield too early, and this is where a lot of small errors came together and coalesced into 2 kills and a bit of a foothold back into game number 3.
The shutdown very big there for JackeyLove, who had been behind, trying to get him back in it, but G2 staying proactive, looking again to target TheShy, who has really been kind of that punching bag for G2 this game.
And you can see on the gold graph, it just takes a hike right back up towards almost neutral after steadily going the way of G2 for so long because of that one big error. Infernal Drake will be next to spawn this game after the first one already went towards IG, and now that they're back on neutral territory, that'll probably be a big fight.
I do want to mention that the scale was 2,700 gold. It's not a game-breaking gold lead that was surrendered. To me, it's still, okay, you're still sticking the control ward, you still have very good pick CC. In this world with almost no tanks, pick CC on a face check leads to kills, leads to barons. G2 are still in a very comfortable position map control and tempo-wise, but if they don't capitalize on it, if we see a map reset and a control world lead for IG, then G2's early game starts to become less and less meaningful.
And G2 is still going to have to answer some questions about how strong will their team fighting be. Will they be able to close out purely through a side lane advantage that Wunder has, or if they're forced into team fights against JackeyLove, who gets his comfort Kai'Sa, will they be up to that challenge? Will they be able to execute on the level that they're going to have to against this team?
500 gold separates the 2 squads now. Wunder goes in, finds the stun down to JackeyLove, who gets himself away for now. Wunder's still diving very deep, but he's going to be alone and shot down by Jackie. Fight still coming through. It's going to be 1-for-1 so far. Jackie's still trying to get himself away. Going to be chased down by Perkz. Jankos burns it down. And the kill credit goes over to Hjarnan. Jankos nearly felled, barely walks away, and G2 will keep their jungler alive, finding the 2-for-1. But here comes TheShy with the slam into the ground. Where will the fight go from here? As Wadid starts to turn it back around. Over onto Hjarnan goes TheShy. Wadid's going to be buying some time, but Rookie will take him out. TheShy continues going forward with a second slam to find himself another kill. Invictus Gaming has tied this game up in kills, and Perkz stands alone.
G2 lost track of TheShy. Aatrox comes in, and Camille, who just wanted to go to a Raptor camp, found TheShy, and from there, this flank outnumbered ends up being a big one for IG.
I mean, Wunder is just going in so early here by himself, and while the rest of G2 is collapsing, is a lot of damage early on onto Wunder. JackeyLove picks up the juicy shutdown of 600 gold there. Back-to-back fights for him.
But still, they can continue with that pick CC to go straight down mid, get kills, and it's still a trade-up. I still love it at the start from G2, especially because Jankos doesn't go down. There's no Baron to turn on to, but you don't want to sacrifice any kills. However, they lose track completely of TheShy, who doesn't full reset. He cuts through the enemy red side, and suddenly it's a full health ulted Aatrox that no one could deal with.
And knowing Hjarnan has no flash available from the previous misstep at that mid lane turret, TheShy full commitment, flashing forward onto him, and G2 dead even now on gold. The Infernal is up in 15. You have to feel like that is going to be a swing point in this game.
Speaking of swings, TheShy's been behind this game, but now he's up in farm. Now he's 2-2-2 in terms of that KDA. The man is as relevant as ever for his team. This is just one of those types of games where if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. G2 were ahead early. A couple of mistakes have set the game back to even, and now we need to see them really step up in the next few crucial moments.
IG are dotting their eyes, crossing their T's, trying to get the second Infernal.
It's just gone.
We're going to be taken low, secured by Ning as Jankos goes into the pit, going to start the fight, but he's 1 versus 2. Perkz coming in now as well. Ning taken very low, likely going to be killed to start this fight off. Wadid able to find some CC onto multiple people. Baolan now going to be the target of the Vanguard's edge. Wunder trying to make something happen, but G2 look like they just want to disengage this one now. They already got the pick onto the enemy jungler.
Oh!
So many people! That's the Aatrox damage, and TheShy makes it happen.
TheShy finds everyone there. Rookie still hunting.
Oh, Rookie makes it a double kill for himself. He cleans up Perkz, and tragedy strikes for the EU LCS representatives. Rookie will continue, but out of mana means he's out of time to continue the chase.
How do you stop TheShy? He gets dove at level 3s, put so far behind, and he finds plays like that.
There's sweet spots, and there's a sweet spot on this many members. The play starts in Jankos 2 lane. The Infernal goes down, they kill Ning, and you think, will there be a reset? If we've learned anything from this series, the answer is no.
And it was a great ult out from JackeyLove, then flash on the ultimate from Irelia to get him to safety.
But watch TheShy, he's stunned up, and you think, okay, maybe this is done. Maybe there's not going to be an entrance. Doesn't have flash, remember. They G2 group up, and then a 2-man into 4-man sweet spot just decimates their health bar, and JackeyLove and Rookie get their cooldowns back up, and they're back.
The team piles in, Rookie and JackeyLove cleaning up so many kills there, and IG are just out team fighting. G2, they now have the gold lead. They now have 2 Infernals, and look at the damage done by TheShy in that fight.
10 times the damage of his jungler and 1,200 damage more than anyone on the enemy team. G2 has got to find a way to regain the composure they had earlier, to try to staunch this turning of the tides, because this is their last shot. They're already down 0-2 in this series. They need to bring this back into winnable territory. They've got the Hourglass and the Proto Belt on their mid laner. It's Trinity Force working towards the evolved items like the Sterix Gauge on the Irelia. They've got the tools, but they have the execution.
It's hard to say. I mean, you also have to remember, though so much of the playmaking has been from the IG solo laners, you now have JackeyLove on 2 items with a QSS. Knight's Vow is done. Zeke's is, a hair's breadth away from being done as well, and that is going to be a super powerful carry who's really hard to pick off.
But I want to reset expectations a little bit from the last couple of fights and remind ourselves, how does G2 win this game compositionally? Irelia still beats Aatrox in the side lane. Irelia bot lane pushing up, and the 4-man squad getting Vision. Right now, Vision's being traded back, and IG say, we can't deal with the Irelia, but we kill Baron pretty fast.
G2 doesn't know. This Baron may just be gone. They're rushing it down so quickly.
Kai'Sa is so good at doing this.
Is it too late?
Yep. Blue Trinket is going to be placed down. Jankos wants to go over the wall. This is your hero moment, but it's going to be secured by Ning, and now Jankos finds himself dead. If IG had won the game before, they're in a great spot to come back and find huge games right now. Wunder's behind enemy lines, running straight towards a turret. He wants to get away, but how long will he even be able to hold on? Ning goes in to find plenty of damage. Wunder tries to turn it back around, but he's already underneath the turret, and it's Baron +2 for Invictus Gaming. Has the TheShy insult to injury. Thanks for the lead.
They have families. IG are just taking everything now. You give them anything, and they are just completely taking over the game. And G2, it feels like the wheels have completely fallen off. They don't know how to respond.
Just as G2 are about to start a scenario where they had Irelia versus Aatrox and a Vision lead over the Baron, IG just skip a couple of steps. They got the cheat code. They go straight to Baron. G2 needed to respond 5, 6, 7 seconds earlier. They take a bit of time, and in that time, they end up losing the maximum.
And IG, when this team gets Barons, the map explodes. They force things down, they team fight, they run at you, and the Baron power play is already up to 4,000 gold with half the duration still remaining.
And while Jankos got in, had an attempt at the steal, so hard to take it away from Alisandra with the Q, execute, plus the smite, that combo gives him the advantage. He had the vision as well, and it was always going to be a worse than 50-50 chance for Jankos.
I think people are too results-oriented about mechanics, and it should just come back to, you had control over that area for 24 minutes, you lose it for 30 seconds, and the Baron is gone. That's a team execution on Vision that lets G2 down, and now they're in this spot.
And TheShy is somehow 3 levels up on Wunder.
Oh boy.
After the early game, that is a hell of a statement to make as he goes into World Ender, which is the green light for IG to go into the base. G2 support going to be taken very low, forced to pop the ultimate. IG will break inhibitor number 1 effortlessly. Inhibitor turret number 2 now under siege. That one will not be contested either, as inhibitor number 2 will follow suit.
Knowing IG, they may just keep pushing, but they are going to take the calm, measured approach here. They look like they want to back off.
Jankos stepping forward, seeing if maybe there's a pick to find. Hjarnan goes in for the ultimate. Over the wall they go, seeing if maybe they can find something. Legit's going to be way too far forward. It's killing spree for Ning. And G2's mid laner's now going to be in some trouble. Baolan's taken low and taken down. They're managing to find the entirety of the fight. TheShy goes on a killing spree. Jankos going to go down. Perkz is alone, but it will not matter. G2 is out of there, and IG will head right back into the base.
G2 accelerate their own demise. Perkz is wasting JackeyLove's time. The death time is though they may be long enough, the game could still end.
Yeah. All Jackie has to do is keep Perkz away. Rookie and TheShy continue the push. It's Wadid in 5 seconds. The minion wave is here. IG looks like they're gonna get themselves out. They don't want to risk anything crazy, and G2 will have one more chance.
It's the smart call here from IG, and G2, that was desperation. That was such an overforce with, you see what it here, as Shy gets over the wall, you think that's gonna be the end of it, but they're flashing over the wall, and look at Hjarnan and Wunder. They have no way to get into the fight whatsoever. And then this kick here from Ning, he gets behind the team, Warthog's over the wall, finds Hjarnan with the Q through 3 members, and kicks him in, and that's when you knew G2 was done in the fight.
In the picture-in-picture, they actually lost their second inhibitor turret to minions as well. So now, it is a complete naked Nexus on the top side. The damage numbers from JackeyLove has been an afterthought in this best of 5. 6,000 damage, more than basically the entire team combined again.
They gave him time. He has the items. He has the support and the protection now. And when you unlock this man on his Kai'Sa, he is certainly making them think twice.
When you unlock the Shy on the Rift, apparently starts with a 3-level lead.
It's open Nexus. IG is saying this game, this series ends right here. Perkz getting himself back. Wadid's on the front line. Voidseeker fired off. G2 in some trouble there. There you go. Wadid's gonna be the first to drop. Shy goes on a rampage. Everyone else is stuck in the fountain, and IG will cleave through them all. The stun comes down. Jankos goes out. Killing spree over to Rookie. IG clean house, and in a clean sweep, they punch their ticket to the finals.
No questions left unanswered from IG. An extreme show of dominance here from the LPL representatives. TheShy and Rookie are, simply put, incredible.
And in a tournament desperate for a favorite, maybe we were front row seat, ladies and gentlemen, to the first favorite being crowned, or the most recent one at least, because at this point, IG have rampaged through G2, and it's hard to see Fnatic or C9 being just as emphatic tomorrow as we saw from IG today.
And remember the road to get here. Both of these teams took down tournament favorites to even earn their spots today, and both of those series went the full distance. For IG to then beat their opponent now 3-0 is a hell of a statement, and they look ferocious going into that ultimate match.
They really do. TheShy throwing 3 different carry picks in the top lane, and no matter what happened, it felt like TheShy was going to win, that he was going to take control in the game. And you have to take a moment, though, and appreciate the run and the showing that G2 has put up at this Worlds, taking down RNG, making it through the play-in, making it through groups, and really a tournament to be proud of.
Their contribution to the tournament cannot be denied. They were the ones to eliminate RNG, the team on a golden road, scheduled to win every tournament of the year. That didn't happen. What I take away from this series, though, is my original question of how do IG match up to what we expected from G2? They took it on front to back and said, we'll take you on those carry matchups, and they decimated them in the carry matchups. And that's a big worry now, because now you know they can deal with that. They can play their own style as well. How do you even prepare for this team coming into a world final?
And we talked about how it was curious that they chose the blue side coming into this series after playing all of their games on
both
red at the
sides thinking pretty
quarterfinals.
good.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's almost like IG knows how to play League of Legends straight up. This is just a really strong team. And for more on their dominating victory, let's send it over for Worlds Cooldown.
Thank you, Captain Flowers, and welcome to Worlds Cooldown. IG was 2 hits on a Nexus away from a 3-0. Almost got reverse sweeped. This time around, they say not gonna happen. They get the 3-0 over G2. Definitely cement themselves as a worthy finals team.
And that's exactly why we both predicted IG 3-0.
Yep.
Excellent work, Deficio.
Killed a pre-game bot, by the way. Don't let anyone go back and
there's a
watch
problem
that.
uploading it to YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's
so
lagging
weird
there.
that this pre-show of all pre-shows. But let's talk about this final game, because this was the toughest victory for IG in this 3-game series here. G2 actually had control over the game for a substantial period of time. They made some decent adjustments in draft. It just wasn't quite enough.
There was also some wonky drafting from IG. They looked like they had a clear shot that like Braum Lucian, like, nah, give me the Kai'Sa. Looked like they could have gone for a comfort pick for Ning again. They're like, nah, give me the Lee Sin. I'm like white fisting the desk, like, oh no, we're going to game 4.
I mean, it looked like it for a moment at least, but that's what happens in a best of 5 when you've secured 2 wins already as IG based on simply having like the best solo lane setup possible for your team to win with TheShy and Rookie as well. So when you go into game 3, even if this had snowballed out of control, like you could have readjusted for the next game. So
absolutely.
It felt like they were in control except for the 20 minutes here, and obviously they started with Ning. Not really sure what he tried to do in Lee.
And props to G2. I think this is kind of the G2 that we wanted to see enter this best of 5, and it took, unfortunately, too long for them to finally show up in Game 3. If they had played the first 2 games like this, I would have been great with the series. Yeah, still congratulations to G2 because no one expected them to be here, but I think they could have had a lot more fight than what we got out of this 3-0.
Still, though, I have to say, I thought the solo lane matchups would be a little bit more even going into the series.
Right.
A bit like we saw in the last game. But watching game 1, the Jace from Rookie, and then game 2, the Jace from TheShy, it's where you get that reality check of just how good these 2 players can be when they get to play, you know, a comfortable champion, a good matchup, and they get that early lead. Because we see so many other players when they get 1 or 2 kills, sure, they might get 1 turret, but then they kind of slow down a bit. TheShy was like 1v2ing people in their own base. Like, that's the kind of stuff you want to see when a world-class player gets ahead.
And unfortunately for G2, there was never going to be a scenario where they were able to beat Invictus Gaming in the same way that they did RNG. You know, Letme and Xiaohu are completely different animals comparatively to Rookie and TheShy. They're just not on the same level right now. And I think that was unfortunately like the big wake-up call for G2, where stylistically they really hadn't been tested in that 1-3-1 or in those solo lanes, and it was going to be matchup dependent, and you know, maybe fumbled a couple matchups here and there with a couple of the drafts, and then really had that wake-up call of, okay, you know, this isn't Letme, this is a completely different top laner.
Yeah, because when we did the win conditions going into the series, one of the big ones was Jankos and Wadid kind of outperforming Ning and Baolan. So the supporting crew around these carries needed to win on the side of G2 for them to actually take down IG. And during the games, it became very clear that that was not going to happen. I think Wadid had like a good time Kench game for sure, but we didn't get to see 3 games in a row of Jankos just like beating on Ning. And that's obviously also too much to ask from him to do this, but it was one of the needed things for G2 to then stop the snowball from the 2 solo laners. When that didn't happen and Ning with the Jarvan was good in the first game, and second game he did fine as well, it suddenly went super IG favorite.
Yeah, the pieces weren't there for G2 today. We did get a look at G2's favorable early game there in this 3rd game. I do want to take a look at one other moment. Exactly, great start for G2, but where it kind of began to turn. In the mid game here, G2 perhaps a little too aggressive, and it gets turned around.
I mean, they have to take these fights at this point. You're looking for those power spikes. It felt good for G2. It just kind of came down to execution, maybe some mismanaged target identification, and kind of the call afterwards. You know, you have a very clear win here that you just need to keep track of the LeBlanc and then choose, do we continue to push this out, or do we take, you know, some of these kills and maybe reset the map, and G2 decided to push the luck?
Yeah, because after this, when G2 stay, they obviously get flanked. Jankos, poor guy, tries to get away, and Aatrox flies in.
Hey guys, he's behind us.
This was fight number 1. Shy got to join. There was then fight number 2 as well around the dragon, where he made like the biggest 1v5 kind of play. We were all screaming, just back, what are you doing? But
and then they 4-man run into the 3rd queue.
They're like, oh, we should just kill this guy. He's all alone. And then they end up jumping into that massive queue, right? The whole fight is set up for IG. And again, that's where you see the differences in this game than between some of the individual players and how hard you can carry.
And he's doing that from behind in this game. He wasn't set up like he was in the first 2 games. Through today's series, Invictus Gaming performed, but there were a couple of notable performances in that 3-0 that earned players the honor of MasterCard Player of the Game. For Invictus Gaming, it was Rookie, and then TheShy twice.
Surprise, surprise, it's the solo laners for Invictus Gaming. I'm really happy that TheShy finally got his big moment on the stage. I think Papa Smithy said it best on cast. He finally now proved to the international audience just what a big star he is, and cemented that on the World's Hall of Fame, if you will, as he walks towards finals.
They got one more best of 5 to go, but those are the kinds of performances you want to see out of your solo laners before you move on to that final stage. To hear more from the victorious pros who played on stage, let's send it over to Shock for an interview with the Invictus Gaming top laner.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with TheShy after 3-0ing their way to the final. TheShy, in your very first World Championship, what does it mean to you to make it to the final?
네, 결승전에 진출하셨습니다. 상대형 승리였는데 첫 월드컵에서 결승전까지 가게 된 소감이 어떤가요?
네, 3대0으로 좀 약간 쉽게 이기게 됐는데 저희 팀이 정말 잘해주었고, 네, 그래서 지금 체감은 안 되지만 되게 기분 좋은 것 같아요.
So it was an easy 3-0 victory, but this is so surreal for me. All the other players were doing so perfectly for this victory, so I'm really happy.
A relatively easy victory. I have to say, you definitely carried a lot of those games. What allowed you to step up so heavily for your team today?
그럼 오늘은 정말 엄청나게 혼자서 캐리하는 그런 모습이 나왔는데 어떻게 한 단계 더 나아진 모습이 나올 수 있었을까요?
진짜 뱀픽의 차이인 것 같고요. 이번에 저희 코치진과 선수진에서 탑에 몰아주는 뱀픽을 하자고 했고 그거에 대한 결과로 지금 이렇게 보여준 것 같아요.
So I think it is all about our draft. We used to play around the bot lane, but this time we came with the draft with playing around the top lane. Our coaching staff kind of planned it. I think it went as we planned before.
Well, draft is, of course, important, but I think you're maybe underplaying how strong you were today. Is there anyone left in the tournament in the top lane that could beat you?
근데 뱀픽뿐만 아니라 정말 플레이가 정말 화려하셨습니다. 그럼 이제 남은 탑 라이너 중에 좀 만나고 싶거나 좀 경계가 된 상대가 있을까요?
딱히 없는 것 같아요.
No.
No?
No.
Well, we'll see that. It looks like you guys have a fantastic road laid out for you. Are you starting to dream of lifting that Summoner's Cup with IG for the LPL, or is it dangerous to start dreaming so early?
그러면 이제 그 롤드컵 우승컵을 들어올리는 상상을 좀 하고 계신지 아직은 그런 걸 하기엔 좀 이른 것 같으신지 궁금하네요.
그런 행복한 상상들을 하곤 하는데 그래도 결승이 남았으니까 제일 중요한 경기다 보니까 좀 마음을 추스리고 내 경기에 임해야 될 것 같아요.
So I sometimes dream about those happy imaginations, but you know, final is the most important thing for us. So we have to kind of chill down and prepare for the finals.
Okay, calming down, but no one else is going to beat him who's left in this tournament. Thank you very much. TheShy and IG make it to the final.
No top laner better than him in the tournament, or so he seems to think. I mean, doing what he did to Wunder in this series, a lot of people are pointing to Wunder as maybe the guy who could match him, who could, unseat him. It's not going to happen. He's going to look towards either Bwipo, Soaz, or LicKR in that final series.
TheShy's only had the better of him a couple of times in the LPL. JDG's top laner Zoom comes to mind. So it's, getting a solo kill on TheShy in his domestic league is an accolade that someone would equate to if they manage to solo kill FLICKR or something like
now
that.
Just imagine getting a win over him in the finals. Now, to wrap up this series, though, I do want to talk about G2 as they exit today. Top 4 finish here at Worlds. We've been talking about it all tournament long. This team, from start to finish of 2018, their, trials and tribulations and ultimately prevailing, to come as the third seed over those obstacles, and then to crush the doubters along the way, through the play-ins, through the groups, and then here to the semifinals.
I just think it's crazy that 2 months ago, I think these 5 players were looking at each other after losing to Misfits in playoffs and being like, what's next?
That's it, yeah.
This is a mess, nothing is working, we didn't win in spring, we're not winning in summer, and we play for G2 Esports, the organization that will always make the final, always challenge for the title in Europe.
They had their Madrid jerseys ready to go.
The Madrid jerseys were ready, and they didn't make the finals in Madrid, but now 2 months later, they look at this top 4 finish, beating RNG. It wasn't an easy road to top 4 by any means. They had to go all 5 games. Obviously, they were completely outmatched in this series, but that doesn't take away from them shutting down RNG and getting out of the Group A as well.
Without a doubt. With their victory, though, Invictus Gaming become the first LPL team to make a World Championship final since 2014, and they'll face the winner of Cloud9 versus Fnatic playing tomorrow. IG as finalists. Let's talk about this squad because, again, the 3-2 victory over KT that was nearly a 3-0. They follow it with a dominant 3-0 over G2. And now they're staring across the bracket at Fnatic and Cloud9. Should these guys be scared at all?
Cloud9 and Fnatic?
No, IG. Based on what they've done, they've already taken out the tournament, one of the tournament favorites. They've taken out the team that took out the other tournament favorite, and they did it in a 3-0. And now they're looking across at, granted, Fnatic, who topped the group. And I think that's maybe the one big talking point here, is there's the other Group D team there, the first seed, still alive.
And that's the thing, unless Cloud9, if you want to call it spoilers, since a lot of people are starting to lean towards Fnatic as kind of the other big favorite, you basically have this rise now, is these 2 teams on opposite sides of the bracket. We thought it was going to be KT and RNG, but from the very beginning, from Group D, who's going to take first spot, it's now become about Fnatic and Invictus Gaming. And I think everyone is just waiting to see that best of 5, or at least the chance of it. And Cloud9 can come in, no, you can't look past us, you must focus on us first.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of confidence as IG But again, as you highlighted, the Fnatic team that took you down first in the last game of the groups and then the tiebreaker as well, like you're going to look at them and you're not going to be scared, but you're obviously going to have a lot of respect for this team if you end up playing them in the final and not going with the mindset that this is going to be an easy game. I think C9 is the other one where I think every team still will look at C9 and underrate them and be like, oh, yeah, they're obviously not going to beat Fnatic, you know, and the same thing with the FLICKR series. The thing is, if they do beat Fnatic and walk into this final, like they've shown that they can play aggressive enough to match early game, but it's obviously going to be a struggle just 1v1-wise in the two solo lanes.
That's the most important thing, is this idea of aggressive gameplay. Because a lot of people will say, if it is Fnatic IG, that they'll weight it towards Fnatic. Fnatic had the best of 3, if you will, against IG. They won.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that one either.
But it was a completely different game. You know, that was back when Invictus Gaming were playing the Sion, were playing the Kai'Sa. Now you see them playing a C9 style, where it is that Lucian in the bottom lane. It's playing the early game. So Fnatic will get a good gut punch against Cloud9 if they want to if you want to face this version of Invictus Gaming, you must beat Cloud9.
Right. It's interesting to me, though. I know we are jumping ahead to a supposed C9 Invictus Gaming Finals, but it's interesting to me the fact that C9, we look at a lot of their success coming off of, let's say, Licorice in the top lane and Jensen's performance in the mid lane. Well, we said the same thing about G2. Granted, C9 is not necessarily playing the 1-3-1 from there.
And we got the bot lane in quarterfinals.
That's true. They stepped up.
They started suddenly doing the Lucian Braum, which gave another way for C9 to play the early game when solo laners would not always win.
Right.
So they did show a little bit more flexibility in terms of how many lanes they could play around. But again, you go into this matchup against IG, no matter who you are, and you think to yourself, we can match solo laners on paper, until you actually sit there on the Rift and you're facing a Jace who's up 50 CS and a Ghostblade and you're just dying. Like, that is the problem.
And I was checking Licorice's solo queue. You know, he's got the blind Victor Iceborne Gauntlet ready to go. So if, again, this meta becomes about, like, the Aatrox and if you have to ban the Victor, like, Bwipo's already pulled it out. Licorice in solo queue shows that he's ready for it.
And the Hecarim.
And the Hecarim. Yeah, I mean, Cloud9, right? We talked about the Jace as a pocket pick and how much room it gave IG to breathe within this pick ban, how much flexibility and control it gave them. Cloud9 is another interesting team with the number of pocket picks that they have and how that might allot them some control within this game. Perkz was the better performing European mid laner of the two between him and Caps for a large majority of this tournament, but we did just see him fall to Rookie. How do you feel about Caps' chance in that mid lane matchup?
Against Rookie specifically?
Yeah, against Rookie specifically.
I mean, he went down like 30 CS.
Yeah, laning phase, Rookie is definitely better. Caps' biggest problem this tournament has been not adapting to the increased skill level of mid laners and teams he's facing in the early game, because he plays as aggressive in Europe as he's doing now. But in Europe, when he goes in for these really over-aggressive plays, it doesn't always get punished.
Right.
And typically, he has Brox and Hylissang standing right behind him as well. But during this tournament, he's tried to play the same style, and he's gotten punished more often. I'd like to believe these 5 days of scrimming and practicing and VOD reviewing has maybe made him think a little bit more before he jumps in. But I think he's going to drop in CS to Rookie. But he's shown he's a great late-game team fighter, and that's how he got back in the games when they played against IG.
Yeah,
well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the fact of the matter is that Caps wasn't able to lose as gracefully as he really needed to, but it was Broxa in the bot lane that stepped up for Fnatic. Now, as the meta has kind of shifted away from that big 5v5, again, I don't think you can take the same things that you learned from the first time Fnatic and IG played and apply them to the second phase, because they're playing different games at this point.
It's a whole new world here. Whole new worlds in the knockout stage. But if you want to face TheShy and Rookie, if you want to have that shot at taking them down along with the rest of Invictus Gaming, you got to win the matchup tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have the EU versus NA semifinal in Cloud9 versus Fnatic. World's Countdown starts at 12:30 a.m. PST, 9:30 CEST, Central European Summertime. I was told by some Europeans that they don't ever use that abbreviation, CEST. I guess that's the thing here. Preview of that matchup tomorrow. We talked a lot about, you know, hypothetical finals. What about this EU versus NA clash?
I mean, this is the rivalry. It felt like everyone was holding hands. It's like you guys took down the LCK and the LPL, and now it's like who's going to put up hands first. And ultimately, I mean, we've been saying, you know, it's Fnatic versus IG. That's been all the theorizing. But Cloud9, they look perfect for this meta. They pulled out the Lucian. Yeah, Uzi was the first guy to do it, but Sneaky was really the first guy that was successful with it. Sneaky had probably one of the best quarterfinals I've ever seen. And then Jensen also popping off, having these clutch moments. So across the board, if we talk about the evolution of the meta and the play style, C9 are right there in that pocket on a meta standpoint and an individual performance standpoint. Everyone is playing their top game.
I think on paper for a Western fan, it's kind of the dream semifinal because it's the two most successful organizations internationally as well in C9 and Fnatic. And you get a Fnatic team where we've kind of hyped them from the start, and it's the only one that didn't hit us back in the face because they actually did beat EDG.
We got one.
We got the one. That's the one that counts in the end.
The only one we've got.
But the fact that without even playing perfect League of Legends in the quarterfinal, they're still able to 3-1 EDG. That says a lot about the overall level they can reach. And I think for Fnatic going into tomorrow's game, they are favorites for me, at least. I think across the board, they will be able to either match or beat what C9 is bringing. I'm just concerned about the draft because Fnatic do gamble a little bit. They get a little bit greedy sometimes. And C9 has shown to me that they know what to pick to actually succeed as a team. Like, they heavily invest into strong engaged comps because they know they can keep forcing fights. They knew that FLICKR bot lane was weak in lane, so they go with Lucian Braum and they punish it. Like, I like those things a lot from C9, and I think that's where they can really target Fnatic.
A small preview of the much-awaited matchup that we are to see tomorrow. That's going to do it for us here, though, tonight. So now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last semifinal bout.
The time is finally upon us, the semifinals of World Championship 2018, and it should be a battle. And now Hjarnan's gonna be in some trouble, gets himself dunked, in the back line goes Ning, goes into stasis right now. JackeyLove grabs the first kill.
Can't find the end right now, but what about now?
Oh, Ning doesn't need the end when he can find Wunder like that, and that's gonna be Jackey set up to find himself another. Grabs the kill onto Wadid here too. Wunder trying to stand and make some sort of a defense, but everyone else is already gone. A double kill over to Ning.
This is a team that has a lot of mental fortitude. We'll see if they can actually display that here.
Perkz going in on the rookie here, but TheShy is there. The seismic shot makes it happen in first blood. IG! Rookie lives. Keeping Wunder alive. TheShy trying to disengage now, but instead around. This man is a monster, and Perkz will be beaten down. That's one auto attack. He's 17. That's 2 hits. Man, 2 hits. Now the Vanguard's edge has been deployed. Wunder's coming in for the counterattack, and he cleans up Rookie as the Hextech ultimatum seals JackeyLove's fate, and G2 wins another fight. They already got the pick onto the enemy jungler.